Hello, hola, bonjour. Tune in every Tuesday to the Dear God podcast.
¿Y qué pasó?
Nah, we talking like it's 1995. Let go of that Wi-Fi. Let's laugh and cry, but never say goodbye.
Primos y primas, que lo que, and welcome, bienvenidos to the Dear God, Are We There Yet? The podcast, con tu prima favorita. Soy Alicia Sanchez, and yes, this podcast is bilingual. Ahora, Dear God, in this context for my movement is whatever, who, or whomever you want it to be. It can be the universe, religious God, Buddha, self, nature, lo que sea. Dear God, Are We There Yet? Is a lifestyle community of question seekers. The goal is simple: to empower thought-provoking conversations, share happiness, and encourage each of us to never stop asking questions and having conversations that matter. The power of helping people help people with one conversation at a time. Why? Because we need it. Our friends and families need it, and the world needs it. Ya tú sabes. Don't forget to check out the YouTube channel where I talk about self-growth, budgets and business, and the passion to empower others. Now we're on to our show with a very special guest. She's not only like family, but she's also family to us. My wife and I, we met her in Minnesota. She's an amazing author. And Kiersten, can you tell everybody a little bit of what you do and who you are?
All right. Well, my name is Kiersten Hall, and yes, I had the pleasure of meeting and becoming friends with Alicia and Lucy back in August of, 2017?
Yeah, I think so. Oh my God, it's been that long.
Yeah, just a chance meeting. I was walking by their booth at a local county fair, and they had it so nicely decorated for the very small booth you guys were in. It was so nicely decorated and past everything that they had. I mean, they had like a 4,000 square foot store in 4 feet. It was nicely decorated, though, I will admit.
It was eye-catching, though, right?
It was very eye-catching, and it was just a delight. I mean, usually county fairs, you stand on a concrete, floor for 10 days, staring at the abyss. And the nice thing of it is, as soon as I met you guys and we hit it off so well, every day I had to go to the county fair, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go over to Alicia and Lucy's to see what they're doing and hang out. I mean, you guys became, social central.
Yeah.
Anyway, so thank you for that. And then, I had the pleasure of attending your wedding last August, which I still actually have your videos and pictures on my phone. So I want to know if I should delete those. Did you get those? Anyway.
No, you have to.
Another conversation for another time. It's just I'm a pack rat. And all right. And so let's see. What do I do? Well,
I really want to talk. Yeah, your books. And it's so funny because I was just talking to a friend of mine that she just got engaged, and I was like, girl, you want to laugh? You have to read one of my good friends, the 15 Years of Wedding Misadventures. Because when I was reading that book, first I would say to my mind, these people can't be real. Like, first of all, who are these people?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, yeah, and I can see you laughing too. I can see you guys just rolling at it. So, yeah. Those are real life people.
Yeah, these are real life people, which I don't know who they are, like who would even in their, I'm not even going to give away the stories, but you guys, for my listeners, tienen que leer este libro si se van a casar, if you're going to get married, you're thinking about getting married, or you need a good laugh. Like, this is times Bridezilla meets not only the Bridezillas, but the men too, and the whole part. Oh my God, you just have to read the book. And these are real true stories, just like Corner Confessions, right?
Right. Corner Confessions and the Lives We Live. That's book 1 of 3 and book 2 of 3. Then book 3 of 3, which will be And the Burdens We Keep, will be out towards the end of 2020. But all of those books are 50 confessions, true confessions of people I actually know. I mean, we write from the information and the experience we have. And it just happens to be that apparently I know a lot of stuff about people. But once those books are done, then I won't know anything, and that's probably good. Yeah.
So wait, the lives The Lies We Live. Can you give us like one little sneak peek of like not a story or situation, so my listeners can kind of like have a trailer?
Sure. Okay. All right. Well, first I'll start with Corner Confessions. 14 true confessions. Names have been changed, basically, so I don't have to go into hiding. Anyway, but yeah, there are 14. The last chapter in there is a Pay It Forward, Feels Good chapter. It's about my parents, actually. And then it goes all the way to the darker side of life with people who don't do very nice things and everything in between. So there are 14 in there. And the novel end of it, the fiction end of it, besides the fact that the names have been changed, is all of this takes place in the back corner of a coffee shop, hence Corner Confessions. And the novel end of it goes in the fact that it follows the everyday lives of the people who work at the coffee shop and the person who interviews these people and all that kind of thing. The Lies We Live picks up from there after these first 14 confessions, and it really took off, this experiment of, people bearing their heart and their soul and getting things off their chest with no accountability, because everyone likes to talk about themselves, and they'll even open up if they can remain anonymous. Those 14 went so well, another 16 signed up. And so our protagonist, Steph, she interviews 16 more people, but now these are more in depth, their lives. And actually, I will say all of these confessions so far, the first 30 that have been printed, are still going on to this day. But the other 16, the ones that are a little more in depth, that theory of why fix what ain't broke, but in reality it's really broken, but if you hide it under the rug, then it's not that broken, is it now? Yeah, a lot of that, a lot of power plays, small government struggles, corruption, divisive religious issues. I mean, it's got a different flavor than Corner Confessions. It's a little more somber, probably a little more. It's in depth. But the third one has 20 burdens in it, and the burdens, it's a dark emotional thing, because burdens will do that to emotional. It's just dark. So that one is truly a dark, mind twisting kind of thing.
And I'm going to ask you about, I'm really fascinated. First, the title of it. I have the Corner Confessions, the novel. I need to get The Lies We Live. I think you did that afterwards. But I want to talk about like these lives that we live in. Because these are real people. When you were writing this, when you were, I don't even know what to like, interviewing these people, or what was going through your brain as an author to. And I guess I'm just fascinated when I'm like listening to this, and in your mind, aren't you thinking like looking at them and not kind of judging them, but kind of be like, are you serious? Like, why are you doing this? Like, why are you telling me this? I really want to know, because as an author myself, and I don't write stories to that extent, but when I'm reading them, I love them, because I'm like, oh, this is not real, but these are real people.
These are real people. Well, first of all, I didn't sit down and interview them. That part of Steph sitting at a table and interviewing people, that's part of the fiction. But you know how you remember what happened on your street 20 years ago, 3 doors down, or people, you hear things through the grapevine, or
through the grapevine, yes.
That first Corner Confessions has two of my wedding stories in it, and I've shot over 1,400 weddings, so Lord knows I've got enough material from that. But 2 of those stories, Julie and Weston, are out of my video shooting days. And so I wrote about what I knew about people. So, there's all of these stories are either about me, my immediate family, my extended family, what I've heard through the grapevine, what I've seen, what people have told me. So it's a cumulative of my first 50 years on this planet, what I've experienced and who I know and what I've seen, that kind of a thing. And the confession is one of two different things. One, okay, confession is he did this, she did that. I mean, that is the confession. Now, if I know the story, I'll tell the story and tweak a couple points. So, I mean, it's not, not totally a giveaway, but I mean, it's true. If I don't know the story, like he did this 20 years ago, 3 doors down, and I knew about it or circulated around the neighborhood or whatever, but I didn't know the complete story, I made the story up. So
okay, so you mean
the Corner Confessions novels are a mix. It's a hybrid between fiction and nonfiction. But for, categorizing it, we just call it fiction, and I hide behind the fiction label. But yeah, that's what I did. I never really interviewed.
Yeah, it's okay. And how do you where do you get your inspiration? Like, what do you do? Some authors, and this is great para la gente que están escuchando, que quieren escribir, quieren hacer libros. Like, for people who are authors themselves or creative, like, how do you get in your creative zone? What do you do? Because I mean, you're really thinking outside the box, Kiersten, for a lot of these filling of the blanks. You know what I mean? So like, what do you do to get that spark to create, to write all this stuff? Like, what do you do? Do you have I don't know.
Well, okay. Well, first of all, I've been self-employed for nearly 30 years. So I have to be creative in order to earn my living. But so I'm always creating or always creative. However, my big downfall is I'm the biggest procrastinator in the world. Thank you very much. And,
every creative is.
Yeah, and I'm pretty good at making lists. Like, today's to-do list: get out of bed, check, yay for me. Okay, breathe, yay for me. And so then I build myself up, and I'm like all excited and stuff. And then when it gets down to write the book, but I also work on deadlines, and I am not competitive with other people, but I'm hugely competitive with myself. So then I start Kiersten, would you just please sit down and get to work because it needs to get done, because it has to go to the editor, because you want it to get out. And then it becomes one of those things where I have to meet a deadline. Otherwise, I know everything will bunch up, but I have to meet a deadline in order to sell it, to make money, to keep going. And that's where my 30 years of self-employment comes in, where I can't sit around and stare at the wall and go, gosh, I hope I get money today. I have to go out and make money. And the only way I can do that is to meet the deadlines, to make, have something to sell. And so, yeah.
And that's powerful. No, but that's a good creative process, because I mean, as creatives, we do have that little procrastination syndrome within us. I think it's just because the pressure. But then, like you said, as an entrepreneur and actually working for yourself, there is already that wheels like, okay, we got to get this going. So I think you have a happy medium. But what I'm hearing also is that you now have a book that's completely different coming out, where it's children. It's completely different. And I really want to know about your latest book, because it is a children's book. Okay, everybody listening, okay? It's completely different from this. And I want to know where that inspiration came from. And tell me a little bit more about Zoe, because I can't wait till it comes out, but I really want to know why and how. I mean, it's a children's book. It's totally different.
In the world. Yeah. Okay. Well, first of all, anyone who knows me, and you two included, that my mind is everywhere and everywhere. And and I run off in the other direction. That's just me. So, okay, first of all, I am not a poetic person. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure I flunked that section of 8th grade English. But anyway, poem to me is roses are red, violets are blue, and whatever, okay, that's my version. So last October 16th, and I know the date because it is so odd. I don't even know what I was doing. It was in the evening, and, I was probably working on something or whatever. I mean, who knows, watching Netflix, who knows. And a little poetic line came to me, the first 2 lines of a stanza, dun, 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 dun. I'm like, oh, that's cute. And I kept doing whatever I was doing. And then the last the last two lines, the third and fourth line showed up, and that rhymed with the first two lines. Going, that ain't bad. Maybe I should write this down because, I forget everything within about a 30-second span. And I'm like, boy, that would be really cute if I could actually come up with a Dr. Seussy kind of poem based off of that. And then I could turn it into a book. That'd be cute and probably not going to happen. Never mind. So I put the piece of paper up and went, okay, whatever, and kept doing whatever I was doing. And then probably in 5 minutes, 2 more lines. And then 30 seconds later, 2 more lines. I'm like, oh, this is going somewhere. And so I pulled that piece of paper out, and then I started doing, I said, okay, fine. I will put, 30 minutes into this, and if it goes somewhere, it goes somewhere. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Within 45 minutes, I slammed out an 18 stanza poem. All of it rhymed. All of it made sense. It was a story. It was cute. I'm not a person to use the word cute, but this is cute. And, unless there's puppies or kittens involved, then they're cute. But, I was proud. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I called my daughter and I called my other half, and I'm like, listen to this. And to I don't know, a day or two later, I was at breakfast with a friend of mine. And I said, oh gosh, I was just sharing this with everyone. I'm like, I actually made a poem and it rhymes. Oh my gosh, something other than roses are red, violets are blue. Yeah. So I built this tour, and I said, I would love to make a book out of this. This would be so cute. And she looked at me and she goes, you should have my daughter do the illustrations. I'm like, Shayna she draws. I have no idea. Yeah. And she was like, yeah. And I said, well, all right, have Shayna send me some information, some different drawings of what she sees. I sent her home with a copy of the poem and said, have her bring those characters to life and see what we come up with. Wow. And a couple of days later, Shayna sent me some pictures. I'm like, this is cute. You're hired. Here we go. And, my daughter, Chelsea, she is my editor, my designer. She does my book covers. It's good to have this person in the family, although I will say I also pay her. For the amount of work she does. Holy monkeys. But anyway.
I love it. I love it. I love that the way that it's about kindness and inclusivity, and it's an adventure about unique qualities and realizing that, we are all different, and that's okay. We are all different, and we're all special. And at the end of the day, we are the same. We have love, and we need more of that. And, since books are something that especially with children, we always have like that, oh, princess and this and then. Those are great. Don't get me. I'm not shaming anyone out there. For anybody listening on the podcast, do you, boo, do you, okay? Because I love princesses and unicorns. But I also love books that have a message when it comes to children, because they're like sponges, and they read and they adapt and they take this information and they can, connect with it. And I love who doesn't like jelly beans, like eating them, period, So I love how this is. So tell me, it's going to come out in the summer, correct?
Yeah, it will be open to bookstores and such to start ordering it mid to late June, and I should have my copies in my hands. And I got an order today. This morning I woke up and I found an order, and you wouldn't believe who it's from. And so, you'll get your copy here the end of June, early July. As soon as I get the copies, I'll probably be in the parking lot boxing up a bunch of them and sending them right back out to people. But the one thing special about this book, it is not going to be available on Amazon or any EPUBs. No Kindle, no Amazon. It is strictly in bookstores. And there's a couple reasons for it. The mom in me does not believe the book is geared towards 0 to 6, 7, 8-ish year olds. Okay. So first of all, a child that young should not be staring at a computer screen, looking at a book. So that's the mom in me.
That's the mom in you.
The rest of the world just has to deal with that. reading a book to a child is spending time with them and, creating a bond and a memory. And that's what this book is about, not isolating children from other people and throwing an iPad at them and saying, amuse yourself, I'm going to go over here. So I'm trying to keep the family and sharing time with kids and keeping, bringing back the old school where the parents actually spend time with the kids and not give them iPads. I have seen so many kids with iPads and phones, and I'm like, really? Anyway, again, not.
Oh no, no, I agree, and moms say this to me all the time. They're like, when you become a parent, you're going to tell me different, and I understand their point of view, but I am, when it comes to so old fashioned, like literally, I think I am going to be one of those screen-free moms. I really do, because I didn't have screens growing up, and I got just okay. And I come from a Caribbean background where they're like, play outside. And I get it. And again, this is for everyone listening on the podcast. You can, mom shame me later or whatever you want to say. But I think everybody's to each his own. And if it works for you and you want to give your child a screen, no problem. But I do feel that I see it with my nieces and my nephews when I sit there and pick up this, and I love books like you love smelling them. I love them too. I love opening them and the crinkle and the this. I love the experience behind it, but it's so fascinating when the child is like pointing at the pictures and picks out. I have a really good friend that her son, he literally picks out his books. I mean, he literally goes to his mom's like, nope, I want to read this one and this one and this one. And it's like an experience. And since he was born, she has read to him like day in and night, and and he loves it. Now he really enjoys books. And so I agree with you 1,000%. I never looked at it from that perspective, like you said, because I didn't know that parents read the books. I know people read their books on EPUB, but I didn't know that they read them for their children on that. I don't know. Maybe I'm dumb. I didn't know that.
Well, the other thing too is the quality. I mean, every screen is different. And so I have made sure that the colors on the beans and the pages and stuff pop when the next page is, imagine the child sitting on your lap and the oohs and ahs. I mean, it's an 8.5 by 11 landscape, full color, full bleed, beautiful pictures, beautiful colors. And so to turn the page and to go, oh, wow. And then there's some real different surprises and a lot of details in there that you can look at and parents will get chuckles out of, and the kids will like them. And there's a lot of thought and detail into this. That's something you do not get on a phone or an iPad or, the DPI, the dot or the dot pixel, whatever it is, on a computer, or the color hues and saturations on different monitors. So to get that, and then of course the last thing of it is where I'm getting them printed and distributed from, they're the only company that I've found that meets my expectations, that does that size of a book, and will offer also hardcovers in this book. So therefore, everything is through a bookstore. I'm anticipating libraries are probably going to pick this up as well. But bookstores and libraries are the only places you can find jelly beans, or on my website or any of the stores' online websites, Books A Million, Noble, whatever. So, and if someone
wants to have the book, if you guys are listening from a different state, a different country, go on. I'll put all the information on the bottom of this podcast. If you want the book to come to your local bookstore, because there are still a lot of mom and pop shops, go into her website, Kiersten's website, and I believe there's a contact us, and maybe you can even have the book come. And maybe if you have mommy groups, then you want to have the book there. If you want to do some type of, I know that they do like round reading or whatever with kids and stuff. So we need more of that. We need that interaction now. And it's good to be able to see authors like you creating something that is interactive, and something very relatable, especially from 0 to about 8 years old, which is good because they can look at it, digest it, and then actually read it as they grow up. Wow, that's awesome. So what's next? And I just have 2 more questions for you, but what's next for you and your brand and what you're doing as an author? You have so many ideas and so many creative projects. What's next? What should we look out for?
All right. Right now, I've actually got Jelly Beans was not actually my first children's book thought of. I've got 5 other children's books that I thought of prior to Jelly Beans. So that's my 6th book. But my first book that I thought of actually about 30 years ago, I used to have a pet octopus. I don't know if he knew he was a pet, but oh well. Anyway, yeah, I know, weird. But okay, so I had an octopus. His name was Ollie, and Ollie is being illustrated right now by someone else. And so hopefully that book will be out in the spring of 2020, and it's about Ollie's adventures. And then I am currently right now getting back into and finishing. Some of the chapters are done. I really have to go back and just wrap it up. The 3rd and final book of the Corner Confessions, which is And the Birds We Keep. So I'm finishing that. But while I'm writing that one, I'm writing a nonfiction memoir that has a spin. It's kind of an Ernest Hemingway meets Irma Bombeck. If you know, you know Ernest Hemingway.
Yes, Ernest Hemingway. And then, so I'm like, okay, that's a twist, another twist.
And then meets Irma Bombeck. And Irma is one of my favorite all-time authors. Matter of fact, I think when I was a little kid, I went from Dr. Seuss, with Seussical animals with stars on their bellies, straight into Irma Bombeck's, if life is a bowl of cherries, why am I in the pits? And why is everything greener over the septic tank and all that? So I've got all her books. And I started reading those when I was in, 1st and 2nd grade. So I've got a twist nonfiction memoir that I'm writing there on top of And the Burdens We Keep while I write those 2. And then I actually have another nonfiction opinionated book that really just needs to be laid out. And I might be able to get that out by the end of this year, but we'll see.
Wow.
And then
you are busy.
Children's book. Well, it keeps me out of trouble.
It keeps you out of trouble.
Yeah.
You should consider for because I know there's a lot of people like authors who are thinking of starting the process. You should do some consulting on the side, girlfriend. I mean, especially for people who are thinking about just guidance of some sort, since you have networks and stuff. That should be in the works too.
Someone, she's going to be vacationing here the next couple of weeks in Europe, but when she gets back, I'm going to take over her marketing and advertising for a book, which has to do with teaching children about Alzheimer's. And my daughter's going to get it all set and ready for printing and publishing, and I'm going to help her with the marketing and advertising of this book. And she actually already has I'm going to get this wrong, but it's like the Northern District or the Northern North America Alzheimer's Association has already expressed interest in her book and getting those into hospitals for kids to learn about Alzheimer's patients, So I've got that going on, and we're dipping our toes into that as well. But yeah, I mean, I would love to be able to teach people how to sell. I mean, I've got 30 years of sales experience, outside sales experience, and my creativity and thinking out of the box and stuff. But man, there are only so many hours in a day. I have noticed this. Wow.
You're like, okay, I can do this, I can do that. Well, with your goals and your deadlines, that actually helps. What would you say, Kiersten, for my final question of our podcast, what would you say is your superpower? I like to always ask a quirky little question to our listeners. What would you consider your superpower?
Oh, see, I was hoping I'd know all the answers. Okay.
You're never going to know all the answers.
Oh, man. Superpower. Well, shoot. I am not afraid to make a fool out of myself, which I think is a fairly good superpower, because Lord knows I've done it enough times. And a lot of people I think are held back because, well, I don't want to look stupid or whatever. And while they're sitting there going, oh, I don't want to look super whatever, crazy Kiersten comes running by screaming, well, okay, here's an example. Who's the first person that was out on the dance floor at your wedding? Uh-huh.
You.
Yeah.
You.
You know, you get Pitbull playing, and I'm out the door and on the dance floor. I mean, even my date was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't." But you know, he's been around me for now 5 years, and so he knows that I'm just an embarrassment waiting to happen at any given moment. So yeah,
you can't be tamed.
I'm entertaining. I can make a fool out of myself and still come back the next day with my head held high. And I think mainly it's because I have a bad memory and I can't remember anything. But so I just show up with what. But yeah, so I would think that I am not afraid to make a fool out of myself, and that has a lot to do with business and anything you publish. My gosh, I mean, anything that leaves my computer and goes out into the world. Now, first of all, I make sure it's like 2,000% really good.
Really good before you.
Really good before I throw it out into the world. But, you know, you can't please everyone. And I know some people are going to get mad and some people are going to think I'm stupid, and whatever the case may be. C'est la vie. The world keeps spinning and I'm still having a good time. Mainly because I can't remember anything. But anyway, yeah. Yeah, I would say that's my superpower. I just go out and embarrass myself, and I'm not afraid to do so.
I love that. You're not afraid to just try something and just because you know what? That's how trailblazers, that's how you learn things and learn a lot about yourself and growing. I want to thank you so much, Kiersten, for being on the Dear God podcast. For everybody listening, I'm going to put all their information below. If you're interested and you're thinking about you know, writing something, I think Kiersten would be a great source, and you can just kind of talk to her and possibly she can do some consulting for you and help you, because as authors, including myself, is something you just motivated me. I mean, because I have a creative project by hand and I have another project, and it's like, okay, Alicia, when are you gonna do it? You know, and it's just like, I'm doing it, I'm gonna do it. Okay, tomorrow comes and I write like one sentence, you know, so I think you gave us a lot of information, a lot of nuggets, and I love your superpower for those of you listening. You know, just get out there and check out her freaking Corner Confessions novel and the wedding one. Oh my God, if you want to laugh, you got to get that book, because you're going to be nodding your head just like me, like these people are not real. So I want to thank you again, Kiersten. And until next time, you guys, you can check us out on the YouTube channel and the Dear God, Are We There Yet podcast. Light and love, and have an awesome day. Thank you, Kiersten, and have a big, wonderful day and a productive day.
Well, thank you. Thank you. You too.
All right, bye.